Hey guys, it's Alejandro. We're here today with the guys from Concho Valley Paranormal. These are some of my really good friends from Texas. It's a crew that I love to investigate with. They go to some of the most awesome locations. Invited here today for our Paranormal Investigative Spotlight, where we talk to different paranormal groups on the internet and friends of mine and kind of see what their stories are, what got them started, and what kind of advice they have for people who are watching these videos and want to know how to investigate themselves. So you guys started investigating in high school, is that right? So were you all going to high school together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And were you already friends, or is this what
yeah.
brought y'all? So y'all were friends already. So who said, "Hey guys, why don't we try ghosting"? Whose idea was that?
Yeah, we were downstairs and at my house. We were just watching one of the shows on TV, and I was just like, "Hey guys, why don't we give this a shot?" My parents had an old video camera, and Josh had an old tape recorder, and we just kind of went together and went out to cemeteries and stuff, places that ordinary places, big places, not going to let a bunch of high school kids run around their buildings, and so we went out to places where we would figure that maybe it's haunted and caught some pretty interesting things, and just went from there.
Nice, I love it. So you basically said, "Hey, you were watching a show on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You said, let's try it. Let's take some equipment." So you guys didn't need nothing expensive. You just got whatever you got around the house, and you went and did it,
Pretty
basically,
much,
right?
Yep.
That's awesome. And so when you did it, what's the thing that hooked you? What's the thing that moment that got you hooked and kept you going? Because obviously you went to try it.
Yeah.
But what was about it that made you want to keep going? Like what did you find about it that you loved?
Well, our very first time out, it was in the parking garage next to the Cactus Hotel. And we captured what we believed to be our very first shadow figure. And it really just freaked us out. And we're like, I feel like now that we're like destined to do this. That's what really hooked me when we captured that. And then on Josh's tape recorder, we caught some of the most amazing EVPs I've ever heard on it.
Yeah.
This was one of the very first investigations you did, and you literally saw a shadow figure.
I believe so, yes.
And you caught an awesome EVP. That is amazing. That is kind of like a sign to say, hey, this is kind of like we're meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it is it's just in a garage, right?
Yeah, it's a parking garage.
Yeah.
The very bottom level, it's all like a dirt. They were going to put a brick wall up, but they never did. And it's just a dirt mound area down there at the very bottom, and a bunch of trash laying around. We're just like, hey, filming around. Because the day before that, there was an experience that we had where a friend of mine, I guess you could say, got possessed and attacked us with a brick. Now, I don't know if it was actually true or not, but
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you just say? You said a friend of yours got possessed
and it came at me and Josh with a brick.
and tried to hit you with a brick.
Man.
Yeah,
You remember that?
down there.
Yeah,
in that parking
that
garage.
was wild.
What?
Yeah.
Dang, man, that's crazy. And so what happened to your friend? What happened after that?
Like, he just dropped down and tears started choking, started gagging. His eyes got red, and he just dropped into tears. And
Unbelievable.
And we were like, okay. The very next night, we're like, okay, we need to go down there, and then we captured that. So that may have just capturing that figure could have legitimized his claim, but we haven't really seen him or spoke with him since.
Yeah, that friend, so that's it, huh? After that, you
Yeah.
lost contact?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty
yeah,
much.
Actually.
I mean, we kind of just had like a. I mean, we never hated him for it. We never like said, "Hey, man, why'd you do that for?" or anything. We never really questioned. I was just in shock, really, too much to question him about it, and I just like. It just blew me away, and I guess it just started a falling out. We never really hung out after that.
Yeah, no, I bet I could see how that could put like a wedge in a relationship. Get a tie us over a brick. It's funny, I had a similar experience in one of my investigations at Gonzales County Jail, which is a place you guys are about to go to. Actually, right after we filmed this,
Yep.
it's a jail where one of my friends, Jay VRL, who's an excellent paranormal investigator, kind of had the same thing. Something kind of possessed him. He started being really antagonizing the ghosts, provoking the spirits, and he ended up getting this. What you just described is crazy. He choked. He started getting tears, and he almost fell into the ground. It was really, really scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I can say for certain that I've seen that happen too. And I know you guys are pretty genuine. I know you guys don't make stuff up. You're not one of those groups that does gimmicks or does trendy stuff just to try to get views. You guys go out and investigate. So if you guys tell me that happens, I can really believe it. So, you know, you had this crazy experience, and it's like almost out of a horror movie, right?
Yeah,
you know, the guy
really, pretty much really was, yeah.
you know, he's getting possessed, he's going at you with a brick. That's like the stuff you see on like in a horror movie. But you know, the thing is that when we do ghost hunting, it's also different. Obviously, it's not the stuff you see in The Conjuring. It's not the stuff you even see on the TV shows, right? So what's like the one thing you would say is really different from what people who've only seen the TV shows, what's the thing that's really different between what you see on TV and what we do in real life?
What you would see on TV is usually pretty much very repetitive. It's usually, you know, a lot of poltergeist activity, doors slamming, things like that. I mean, there are times in real life when stuff like that does happen, but it's not as repetitive as that. I believe that a lot of these producers out there, their biggest angle and what they really want is the ratings, the upkeep, the money, and stuff like that. And so I believe that a lot of times that these shows, there's some things that pretty much are staged in a way because it just seems a little bit far-fetched. A lot of Hollywood angles and stuff like that that really kind of throws into people's minds that is this what it's really like, and that's what people really freak out about it. Because when they see these shows and they see people get attacked, which does happen. I mean, I'm not saying it can happen. I mean, we've all seen it, but people think that that's what happens all the time, and it's just not the case. Because me personally, we've been to all kinds of different places. We've been to jails. You know, you'd expect a lot of bad spirits there and stuff like that. We've been to hospitals, hotels, pretty much any kind of place you can think of. And I've never once been physically assaulted or attacked by anybody. But we have been cussed out. We have been threatened. We've gotten EVPs that are very vulgar. And so pretty much the comparison would be like have more of an open mind and don't just jump into the bandwagon on that TV is exactly how it's like all the time.
What you're saying, if I understand you correctly, is that it's just not going to be what you see on TV. Every single time there's something on TV, something happens, right, guys?
Something extremely major.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like something extreme to capture like this major shadow or this major EVP, and you go out there. It's actually way more research. It's way more work. It's a lot more hours put in to capture that really good evidence. Which is, in my mind, one of the biggest differences from what people see.
Right.
So I really love the story where you guys are in high school. You are watching the shows, which is what kind of inspired me. You know, I had an experience when I was younger, and I didn't really think much about it. It's just something that happened at my grandparents' house, and it wasn't until the TV shows came out that I realized that people did that. Mm-hmm. And so I can totally relate. You're watching the shows, you're in high school, you're like, this is what I want to do, and you guys go out and do it. You didn't need expensive equipment. You just needed to go out there because you wanted to. You got hooked. I love that story. So, you know, going back then, did any of you have any experiences as a child or growing up that kind of got you into the paranormal to begin with?
Well, I mean, my grandma's house I used to live in, she used to always tell me that she used to see spirits and whatnot. And I do remember a couple times, like, at the corner of my eye, you could see, like, a black shadow kind of fade off into the distance. I did, when I was about 6, 7 years old, see what I believe a man about the size of the door frame standing there, and I remember he vanished. This is when I was really young. So at that time, I didn't know if it was real or not because I had like seen horror movies as a kid, and I didn't know, it was my mind playing tricks on me. So whenever I did see that, I remember running back to my room and like, I'm going to hide under the sheets and it'll all go away.
So you saw this shadow in the door, and it even made you run and hide under the sheets hoping that it'd go away.
Yes, it terrified me.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it is scary. I remember when I saw something, I saw what looked like a pale woman's face looking into a window at my grandparents' house. So did you ever see that shadow again after that, or was that the only time you saw it?
I never did see it again, just one time.
But you remember that real well, it seems like.
Yes, I do. I just remember like how he vanished like into smoke. It was weird.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to explain it.
No, it's almost unexplainable.
Yeah.
There's a local fort in San Angelo, And whenever we were in elementary school, we used to take field trips over there like every year on a regular basis. And there's the most infamous spirit to haunt the location is a little girl by the name of Edith. And I believe that I may have actually seen her looking on the, and there's an officer's quarters 1 is where she supposedly haunts, and in the top windows upstairs, I looked up, split second, I see a little girl, roughly about 12, 13, which is about the age where she died, so that would make sense. And just like looking out, and as soon as I blinked, she was gone. And like sometime after that, and I still remember these dreams to this day, because I've had them for like 2 years, like every other week, the same. It was almost like a nightmare. But I was sitting, I'm older, like I am now. I'm sitting in a room, kind of like this, and there's just one light above my head looking down at me. So it's just dark around me, but I see like shadow mist, a black shadow mist surrounding me, and I keep hearing the same word, communicate, 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 over and over again for like 10 minutes. Then I wake up, and I won't have it again until maybe two weeks later or a month later, and then the same thing would happen again.
That's crazy. It's like a spirit's telling you, try to
like
talk to us.
Like what I'm doing is predestined.
Yeah. Wow, that is a creepy story. And do you know that voice is like familiar, or does it sound like a family member?
No, it's like a bunch of voices put together, male, female, kids, all together.
Huh. That's creepy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I really rarely ever tell that, because a lot of people would think, I don't know about all that. Some people remember their dreams, especially if they have them very repetitively and it really sinks in. So pretty much what I'm doing, I feel, is like really kind of predestined in a way, because my family is like, they really don't believe in this stuff, and so me being the only one out of my family to actually really kind of latch onto it in a way, just kind of folds into that even more. Because I was always told growing up, there's no such thing as ghosts and stuff like that, but I've always used to just throw that out of my mind and keep an open mind. And then once I saw that, and then the dreams started happening, and then here I am doing this stuff, it all fits together like a puzzle.
Wow, that's a really cool story, man. And dreams are really powerful, and there are people who believe that that's either a way where we communicate with stuff that we cannot see in one version of reality, which is what we live in right now. Some people believe there's other versions of reality, and they're all just as real. We only see them when we're asleep.
Yeah.
And if anything, maybe even the subconscious, letting you know whether you're doing something right or wrong. And it sounds like one way or another, something's telling you you're doing the right thing, and then you should investigate. And that's a really cool story. Thanks for sharing that. So guys, I loved having you in here today in the studio to kind of find out more about you. I've been investigating with y'all now for a couple years, and there's even stuff today that I found out about y'all that I didn't know. But you guys are awesome investigators. If you guys like what they're talking about, then you should go follow them on social media. The links are going to be below in the description box. And we have to go do an investigation now. So guys, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you for inviting us, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's go ghost hunt, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.